Okay, so you're gonna do your hair at home. You want some tips. You don't wanna mess up. You don't wanna end up with the tragedy you've seen on YouTube. You know you've seen them. All right, well, don't stress it. I got some tips for you. I got some things that are gonna help you navigate those problems so that you don't end up with a, oh man, I wish I didn't do that kind of haircut. And my first tip is, do you cut it wet or do you cut it dry? This is something I don't see anybody on YouTube talking about. I see a lot of them telling you how to cut your hair, different techniques, but I don't see anybody explaining why it would make sense to do it dry or why it would make sense to do it wet. So let me break it down for you, simplify it a little bit. This is the protocol that I explain to our students in our home hair masterclass, where we teach people how to cut their hair and color their hair at home. The way I explain it to them is you have three different parts of the haircut. You have the length, which is basically just trimming the overall length. You have the layering, and then you have the bangs. With the length, meaning longer hair or even up into bob shapes, stuff like that, where it's basically coming down length and cutting it. In those situations, I prefer the hair to be wet. And the reason for that is I was always taught that the haircut is no cleaner than your parting and your sections. It's just a lot easier to control your hair, comb it neatly, and work with it when it's wet. When it's dry, especially if you have thick hair, it can be a lot to handle. And it just ends up being, well, messy. And that also goes for front layering. When you do front layers, I always advise that that hair is wet as well. Now, when you move into internal layering, layering back here, in those situations, it can kind of go both ways. I would actually tell you, do what makes you comfortable. If you feel like you can manage your hair when it's dry and that seems easy and comfortable for you, then do those layers dry. But if you feel like it's a little bit harder and it's actually easier to manipulate and deal with your hair when it's wet, then do those wet. Now, when you're moving into bangs, bangs always dry. I always dry bangs before I cut them at the salon, and it's what I advise our students in our course. And the reason for that is when you cut your bangs, the probability is high that they're going to cinch up a little bit, and a little bit makes a big difference. But after you've dried them, they've pretty much done the cinching that they're going to do. And therefore, you can get a more accurate length. It's a little bit safer. It's a lot safer. So that's why I tell people, dry them, style them the way that you're going to style them, then cut them so that you can gauge the length a lot easier. If they're wet and you cut them, especially if you're putting a lot of tension in them, probability is high that they're going to cinch up and you're going to end up with bangs a whole lot shorter than you wanted. Now, when it gets into curly and wavy hair, I would still follow the exact same protocol that I just said. But the one thing that you have to be aware of, if you're not already, which you probably are, whatever length you take, your hair is going to cinch up. So whatever you do, do not comb your hair down with tension, whether it be wet or dry, and cut it to the length that you want it. Once you let that hair go, even when it's dry, it's going to come up, and if it's wet, it's going to come up even more, and you're going to end up a lot shorter than what you wanted. So always take off less. You can always take more out. You can't put it back, so less is more. Always be safe. Okay, now that's the first tip. Got a lot more for you, so stick around. And I may have brought you guys somewhere pretty epic. So let's get on to, oh, hold on, wait a minute. By the way, sorry, didn't even introduce myself. You're probably weird. If you're brand new to my channel, you're probably thinking, who is this guy? My name is Justin Hickox. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining us. I share hair tips. I do hair, and I teach people how to do their hair at home. So that's what I do. If that's important to you, hit subscribe. Otherwise, come with me. Let's go learn some more tips. Come on. Okay, so let's talk about something that some of you may call the unicorn cut. It's where you pull all your hair forward into a ponytail and cut it off. Yeah, okay, so let me just break this down real quick so you understand why that could technically work in some scenarios, but also could be very dangerous. So first of all, the biggest concern with that is it can cause two of the biggest problems that I actually see in the salon. Like, you gotta understand, when somebody comes to me, they sit in my chair, it's usually because they're unhappy with what they've already been getting, or they wouldn't be changing, right? If you're loving the styles you're going to, you're probably not gonna look for somebody different. So if you're sitting in my chair, the probability is high that you probably aren't really happy with what you've been getting. 9 out of 10 times, the problems stem from one of two reasons. Either one, the layers are too short on top, or it's too layered at the bottom and it ends up looking very scraggly and piecey and it doesn't hold any shape. And the thing is, if you're pulling all your hair forward, you don't know how to gauge how short those layers are going to be on top. But more importantly, you're also layering some of the hair from the recession down. So when you layer this hair from here down, that can make it look really scraggly and thin at the ends, depending on how long your hair is. The longer your hair is, the less it can support those kinds of layers. So then you find yourself in a situation where your hair is overlayered, or the layers are too short on top, or both. So I would say for most people, that isn't the best technique. There are a lot of other techniques out there if you want to layer your hair that I would definitely recommend using. So just, yes, don't do that. Oh, and by the way, don't cut your hair at home with a kitchen sword. Unless you're a ninja, at which point I'm not talking about anything. Go ahead, cut on. Okay, I know this is a lot of information, and there's a lot more, right, when it comes to home hair. So I've created a webinar where we're going to go over the top mistakes, the big things that happen when you're either cutting your hair at home and coloring your hair at home. Not only are we going to tell you the top mistakes, but we're also going to tell you systems on how to avoid them so that you don't have any hair tragedies. So if you want to be part of that webinar, go ahead. There's a link in the description of the video. Click on that. We'll get you registered, and you're all set. All right, I'm going to get back to the hike. Okay, yep. I hate this. I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. Okay. Hate this too. Hate this. Oh my gosh, guys, look at this. Okay, is this not the perfect spot for the next tip? 5 seconds ago, it was in the forest. Now, apparently, I'm on the moon. Sweet. This is crazy. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about front layering. So one of the questions I get asked the most, especially when it comes to doing hair at home, is how do you cut layers in the front short, but not end up looking like you have a mullet if you've got longer hair? Now, first of all, just so you know, I did an entire video on how to cut your front layers at home step by step. So I'll link that at the end of this video so that you can check that out. It'll give you a super easy step by step, but just so you know the trick. Easy way to figure that out is if you grab the hair that's right behind your ear and you pull that down, that is basically your length, meaning that as long as you don't cut that any shorter, you can connect that into however short you want the front layers. So maybe you draw a line from that to your chin, or maybe you draw it to your lips, or maybe you connect it into the bangs. Whatever you decide to do, as long as you don't cut that hair any shorter, you'll still have a corner that comes forward. When you look at the back, it won't go into a V too much. It'll have more of a straighter appeal, and it ultimately won't look like you have a mullet. You'd be surprised how short you can get those layers in the front, break them up a ton, give yourself a lot of movement, and still have long hair, and not feel, again, like you have a mullet. Unless you want a mullet. Again, I'm not here to judge. Okay, on to the next tip. Guys, look at this view. That's ridiculous. Okay, but nonetheless, the next tip is a big one because it's something I think people do the most often at home, which is trimming your bangs. But many people don't realize how to determine what are actually your bangs. Let me give you some simple steps to figure out exactly what your bangs are so that you don't cut too many. If you take a comb and you rest it on the top of your head, where it leaves the front of your scalp, well, this is what many stylists will call the control point. Everything in front of that control point is going to fall forward like a bang. And typically everything at the control point is going to have a tendency to fall to the side, and everything behind that control point will fall back. So what's the concern? If you take too much hair from behind that control point, pull it forward and try to cut a bang, you're going to end up with hair that may fall forward like a bang when you style it, but then quickly thereafter, as you shake your head, it's going to fall to the sides or to the back, and you'll end up with really short layers. So you want to make sure that everything from the control point forward, that is what you can use as bangs. Now you can take less than that if you would like, but just know that what's probably going to happen if you take less is that those other hairs are going to fall over it, and you're going to look like you've got some random pieces hanging over your bangs. So just kind of food for thought. Now, how do you know how wide to take this section so that you don't cut your bangs too far back? Well, it's pretty easy as well. If you draw a line from that control point on the part, so from wherever you part your hair to both of your recessions, you're going to create kind of this shoehorn shape. That is your bang section. If you go farther back than that, you're going to be cutting into your layers, and that can create an entirely different look than maybe what you're going for. So stick to that section and you should be good. Now what I want you to do is watch this video right here. It's going to tell you all about how to cut those front layers. It's going to make it really simple, and make sure, if you have not already, that you register for our webinar that's coming up so that you can dive deeper into how to do your hair at home. So link in the description and the pinned comment. Otherwise, we will see you in the next video. Now I'm going to try not to die. Bye.